Zeta Team's first assignment was to locate and capture stray brains from the brain attack. Stringer instructed Tank and Ajax to choose a leader amongst them, due to him being a temporary member. Tank, believing he'd make a terrible leader and not wanting to deal with the stress, immediately surrendered the position to Ajax, who reluctantly accepted. Stringer handed Ajax a tablet with mission details. Ajax instructed Zeta Team to take melee weapons to minimize whatever collateral damage could be caused, and gave strict instructions not to harm anything possessed by the brains. Zeta Team had reached the location where the brain sightings were called in, but nothing was in sight. A while later, someone approached Blaze and Tank saying they saw a group go into a tunnel a while back and heard screams. They explained that they tried to contact local authorities, but immediately gave up that as soon as they saw Hero Factory show up. They urged Blaze and Tank to go look for them, which they agreed to, and contacted Zeta Team telling them they had a lead. The Zeta Team entered a large tunnel system where the civilians had been spotted, and then were immediately ambushed. The civilians had been possessed by some of the brains. Quickly, Shade took out her baton and swept at the legs of the attacker. She then tried to swing at the downed civilian, however, before she could land a blow, Ajax grabbed her arm and threw her to the ground. Ajax grabbed the civilian's arm and hit the top of the brain, deactivating it, while Tank, Blaze, and Stringer dealt with the other two civilians. Ajax, Tank, and Blaze each put a brain slug into one of the containers they had been carrying. Ajax then instructed Blaze to guide the civilians out of the tunnel system when Shade tried to confront Ajax. Angrily, she demanded to know why Ajax threw her to the ground, and Ajax responded in the same tone, exclaiming that he gave specific orders not to hurt anything possessed by the brains. And Shade was not only about to violate that order, but also bring harm to a civilian. Ajax told her to go follow Blaze and he'll deal with her later. Ajax, Tank, and Stringer continued to venture through the tunnel. They arrived at what should have been the exit, but it was caved in. Ajax told Tank and Stringer to help him move the rock so they could open up the exit. A few minutes later, they heard a loud crash and a roar in the distance. Stringer suggested they go check it out, which Ajax agreed to. Zeta Team came across a hole in the wall where they encountered a bruiser, way further mutated than the ones that attacked the city during the brain attack. It made a loud roar and rushed at Zeta Team. Tank, Ajax, and Stringer rushed at the bruiser, trying to restrain it. However, the creature was too strong. Blaze and Shade heard a loud crash from the tunnel. Blaze immediately went back in, with Shade following soon after, trying and failing to contact the members within the tunnel. Tank and Ajax each grabbed one of the bruiser's arms, while Stringer tried to get a clean shot at the brain. Blaze saw what was going on, but not quite understanding, jumped onto the bruiser, causing Tank and Ajax to lose their grip. The team regrouped with Shade, and Blaze asked what to do next. Ajax suggested four of them distract the beast while someone takes a swipe at the brain while the monster wasn't looking. Ajax suggested that Shade try to take out the brain as he recognized the armor she was wearing as stealth armor. Ajax, Tank, Blaze, and Stringer started shouting at the bruiser while Shade activated the stealth armor. Shade waited for an opportunity then struck the brain. The bruiser shook its head and then looked really happy. It tried to hug Shade, but she yelled at it, scaring it off. Ajax put the brain into the container, then turned to his team, looked at Blaze and Shade, and complimented them. He said the mission went perfectly, and he was proud of what the team managed to accomplish today. Zeta Team returned to Hero Factory and delivered the brains to a storage unit where they were met by a scientist, a biologist named Dr. Kirk Vine. Dr. Vine was hired by Hero Factory to study the brain parasites and dictate their origin. Zeta Team, being done with their mission, were allowed to spend the rest of the day doing pretty much whatever they wanted. Ajax wanted to spend his time talking to Stringer as he wanted to get as much advice from a veteran Alpha Team member as possible, while Tank decided to go into the city, inviting Blaze, who accepted. Blaze and Tank bonded over their mutual love for the book series Bionicle. Meanwhile, Ajax and Stringer talked. Eventually, Ajax and Stringer's conversation turned to the topic of Lucas Valor. Ajax wondered how Lucas Valor was seen amongst other veteran Hero Factory members. Stringer responded saying that he never directly worked with him, but he heard stuff good and bad. He was unpopular amongst high-ranking members due to his rude and dismissive behavior, however he's still one of the most effective team leaders Hero Factory has ever seen. Stringer then became curious about what Ajax thought of Valor. Ajax responded by explaining that when he worked under Valor, he absolutely hated it. Then concluded, explaining that he didn't want to be like Valor at all. While Ajax and Stringer were talking, Shade walked by, and Ajax made sure to go out of his way to apologize for snapping at her earlier for attacking the civilian. He apologized for losing his temper, and Shade accepted the apology.